Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. I just wanted to do a fairly quick video today about my future plans for my BookTube and AuthorTube channel going forward throughout the rest of this year of 2023. Now, I did do, I believe, sometime in January, my channel plans for 2023, and you can go back and review that if you want. This isn't going to be like reiterating those points like future planned topics and such. It's just going to be like what I might be doing different and what I'm going to hope to accomplish and such, particularly because people are doing like the quarter year like book and writing tag or whatever. So I'm going to continue what I've been trying to do within the last, I guess, month or so, maybe, since I ended my last mini break. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry if there's some obnoxious yard work outside. I face a busy street. And so anyway, I'm going to try to do more general interest, like slash mainstream, like topics, maybe tag videos. Like, for example, I mean, I realize, you should always do the kinds of videos that spark joy and that you want to make and that, make you happy and that you're proud of and stand by, even if you don't necessarily get lots of, like views and clicks and engagement and comments and likes and whatever's. But I do realize, like, particularly when you're just starting out and when you're like pretty unknown, like a random stranger, barely anyone knows from Adam, like, why would someone click on your video if, like, oh, like my last video was all about the dedications to my books, the 12 which I have published to date, and a few which are also like hiatus or just a generally not necessarily hiatus works in progress. So like, why would they want to click on that video if they don't know or care about me? Or like videos I did on like backgrounds on my own books, again, like if they don't know who I am, they don't care about me, why are they gonna click, even if they happen to see it like on the algorithm, like, scrolling through like recommended videos on their homepage or on their sidebar or whatever, like, oh, this is a person, this is a random stranger, I don't know this person, why would I click on that person when I could continue just watching videos from my BFFs since kindergarten? So I do really want to, like, increase my range of people who know and care about me by doing general interest topics. And then when they have, gotten to know me as a person and genuinely like me, then they will want to, watch and know more personal things. So I'm going to focus on, obviously, there's lots of different topics I can do. So I'm going to, try to turn some more of my blog posts into videos, like top 10 things that turn me off in books, and, like top 10 settings I would like to see more of, or top 10 settings I want to see, less of, and favorite book quotes and all that fun jazz. And as aforementioned, book tags. Again, I'm not going to stop doing videos. I like, for example, my Dantean videos. I still do need to get back to doing those, particularly finishing doing more entries in my series about like artwork. I'm not artwork. I'm sorry. Illustrations of the Divine Comedy by like a bunch of different artists over the centuries. But again, to increase your reach, just sometimes you just have to like compromise a little and not do what you want all the time. Particularly as a writer, I'm really aware of that. You have to balance, like your own personality and voice and style with what like what more people might be interested in, and like get to know you, and then they'll be interested in something like a little bit more niche and outside of the mainstream. And I will also be hopefully not, I don't know, like I will like do this full time or anything, just like see if it works out once or twice, trying Canva or some other free thumbnail software. But I know my thumbnails might kind of look amateurish, and that might be another reason many people aren't clicking through, like, oh, that person doesn't look very professional, why would I click on that person's thumbnails? It looks, like bad lighting or whatever. But I do realize my thumbnails at least have come a fair way, if I do say so myself, and I do see some thumbnails that they look freaking awful, like, terrible lighting, or like, for example, if it's a jewelry haul or like showing off the collection, or just like, oh, this is what this looks like, or oh, this is what this looks like, and instead of actually like modeling it in their ears or like whatever part of the body it's worn in, and just like seriously, and just other really like bad thumbnails, like out of focus or whatever. So I do like to think I'm, making a lot of ground, and also, like I've always like been better than some other people who were just, completely amateurish from the jump and such like that. And so I have also begun working on a somewhat less formal intro. I realize like I will never like completely be, like totally informal and off the cuff, like, hey, today we're talking about XYZ and we're starting right now, and then talking as fast as a carnival barker for like 5 minutes and never like providing any like, personal segue into the subject, like, oh, this is how I got interested in this author, and I'm just gonna tell like maybe like a fun little vignette or a personal story, maybe like for a minute or maybe 2 minutes at most, instead of just like jumping right in without any context or personal connection. Because I really feel like that, builds a connection. Like, oh, why would I want to watch this video if this person is just like talking about it? Oh, this is what I'm talking about, and this, and this is that, and this is the beginning, the middle, and the end. And I'm not going to give any hint that I have like a personal, connection or interest in it. It's just like completely, like emotionless, like presentation. That's not who I am. And I also will, like, never compromise myself to do, like, I realize this is no longer recommended, doing thumbnails with like goofy, exaggerated expressions, or like doing, like random fake goofy giggling during a video, or like fake voices, or like random sound effects, or just like goofy camera tricks, like, oh, something funny happened and so I'm gonna replay it in slow-mo or whatever. I realize that can work sometimes. I don't know how to do those camera tricks anyway, but those just aren't things I would ever, like rely on or do just to get clicks and such like that. I've also begun trying to work on a better outro for my videos, instead of like packing all the stuff in, like, like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz, just like maybe working on something really, really succinct, like saying, oh, if you like content like this, you want to see more of it, please consider subscribing and hitting the notifications bell. Or maybe I just don't even need to say all of that. I know some people recommend you don't ever say like, to like and subscribe, comment, or whatever, but I do feel it's like important to include at least like some of that spiel, like particularly some people, they say like they don't even remember or don't think about it unless they're like, reminded by the person doing the video. But again, I will never like completely be like, totally informal and off the cuff. I do have, some formal habits of speaking. I realize they're, kind of old fashioned and stuff, but, I own who I am. And I do have a like future like blog post and video plan about how a number of, like my formal quirks of speech and like the things that have also found their way into my writing, they're like, come right from Laurel and Hardy, like my little wave at the end of the video that comes from Oliver Hardy constantly, waving into the phone, or when like someone asks, like what time or date or whatever, can I do something? I'll say, oh, at your convenience, of course. That's from Laurel and Hardy, just like so many things I get from them. And I'm just old movies in general, so I'm a very formal person. So don't think I would ever have a completely, like totally informal intro to my video, but at least I think hopefully it's less stilted, like saying like hello instead of like hi guys. It seems a little bit more like a bit of more compromise. Now, I have been promising for a very long time, almost since I started uploading content again in September 2021, that I would be doing a planned 105 video series on the Decameron by Giovanni Boccaccio, one of my all-time favoriteest books. Maybe the series would run a bit more than 105 videos, but that's just like a general ballpark for the 100 stories, plus like the introduction, I guess the preface, the outro, not outro, like I guess like epilogue or whatever. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the word for it, like general overview of the book, how, it's influenced my own writing, like how I have like references and, like outright, like not references necessarily, just like outright like talking about the Decameron and like lines like taken right from it or inspired by it in so many of my own books over the years. And I did say at the first I would start doing this after I got 100 subscribers, but unfortunately that didn't happen because I wasn't getting enough engagement. And now I currently have, I believe, like 267 subscribers last time I checked, but it can go up and down. I think sometimes YouTube like removes bots who subscribe to you. These weren't like actual real people or whatever. But anyway, I feel like a much better ballpark to just finally start doing all this, because it takes like a lot of research to write the scripts and like find images and like what am I going to talk about today, or like dividing into like 5 parts, like the story summary, like the history behind it, like real life, did this inspire anything in my own writing, or like what I personally think of it, etc. But that's going to take a really, really long time, and until I get an average of, let's say, like 5 to 10 comments per video, I think is fair. Like comments from some separate people. Sometimes people like have like more than one comment, but I obviously like you want to get like comments from like 5 to 10 distinct people would be just good for me to shoot for in all videos in general. And I just feel like people would get more out of it. So like, why would I waste my time and like humiliate myself by spending so much time and effort and emotion on like, 105 videos at the very least, if I like realize like people just aren't clicking on my stuff and they really like, don't care about me. So if you really want me to do this series and you're like looking forward to it and you love the book or you want to get to know more about it, please, like try to get the word out, or just like, comment more on my videos, or like recommend my channel to people. Not trying to like sound like pushy or chutzpahdik or like a pesty little brat or anything like that. I just, want more comments on my videos so I can finally start doing this labor of love. I'm really, really looking forward to it. And I'm like kind of sad that I haven't been able to like, do it in all this time. And I'm also, as I mentioned in a recent community post, I'm also planning to do some more videos in depth about the Jewish books, which are currently in my possession. Unfortunately, like most of my Jewish religious books are in storage 900 miles away. My brother's just, like not behaving very well with his family and like shipping my things back to me. Like, well, thankfully, at least he did send some irreplaceable things, my old journals and my handwritten notebooks and such like that. But I will be, hopefully doing some videos on the books which are physically in my possession. Like, for example, like the differences between the Jewish and the Christian Bible and how it's structured and such. This wouldn't be like trying to convert anyone or like be like not, well, obviously it would be like religious books, but not like saying like, oh, this is the only way to believe or whatever. It's just like presenting them and obviously like talking about a little bit about my own beliefs and like differences in like Jewish like denominations and history and such. But it would just generally be like, a general interest video. I'm sorry if I'm saying the word general too many times. So like if you're interested in, like world religions or what I believe or Judaism, I know there's a lot of misinformation, particularly because of the huge rise in anti-Semitism all over the world since like May 2021. Unfortunately, a lot of us believe the world is kind of returning to the status quo and like the world we knew since like 1950 or so, at least in the West, like that was just like a facade, like a temporary thing. And now it's like people are openly being anti-Semitic. And I really feel education is a way to help people like just learn more and not be like not I'm not, when I say the word ignorant, I don't mean like maliciously deliberately ignorant. They just like genuinely don't know. And like particularly when you like don't know things, like you tend to believe things from people who aren't Jewish, like, oh wow, I had no idea about this. And you're like getting your so-called information from an anti-Semite who is like going by like notoriously like fake quotes and like made up translations and like cherry picked things taken out of context. And so I really do hope to help to educate people. I'm also thinking possibly doing read-alongs instead of read-a-thons might help me to make more friends and network, particularly because many of these read-alongs have like Discord pages, like chat rooms and such. And with like readathons, obviously sometimes they will have like group check-ins with like a live stream or whatever on Instagram and YouTube. But generally, like you're on your own because you can pick. I mean, I'm not saying this is necessarily a bad thing, but like particularly when you're like a newbie like I am, or you just don't have a lot of friends on BookTube, like you're basically on your own, like you choose the books you want to read based on the prompts, although sometimes there will be a group read, and like you're on your own for making your own videos. Like, do you want to do like a review on each book or just like a midweek or like end of the week or the end of the month, like wrap up or whatever, or things like that. So like, I guess like read-alongs are more structured, and I think I could benefit more from that because like I really do help. The structure does help me a lot. Like I know that sounds kind of like strange and hypocritical because like in some aspects of my life I anything but structured, and I love like being freewheeling, but sometimes structure is very good. And as my regular viewers have probably noticed by now, I am starting to do uploads more frequently again, like several times a week instead of like once a week, if that. And I did take a couple of mini breaks for like NaNoWriMo, and I did like another mini break recently because I was putting my all into like researching and writing and editing my posts for blogging from A to Z April, and I do need to still write the last 4 posts for that, but thankfully they're the last 4 letters of the alphabet, so I still have like a little while before I can get back to doing that. And so anyway, I feel like kind of like dropped off on that because I was like so like depressed and frustrated because I just wasn't getting a lot of comments on my videos, and unfortunately many of my, no, I wouldn't say like many, but like still like a fair amount don't get any comments. And it's just really like frustrating when I see like, oh, I got 6 likes or 2 likes or whatever on this video, but there's absolutely no comments. So like, are these people like leaving comments and they're just immediately getting gobbled up by the like the software, the algorithm or whatever? Are they deleting their own comments, or just like they liked it because they liked the topic and they want to see more like that recommended to them, but they didn't watch all the way through? Or did they like not like listen or care when I said at the end I really enjoy seeing comments, and a comment means a lot more to me than a like because I want to make friends and network among BookTube and AuthorTube. So I'm just like, was really like confused and despondent. And I would also be very interested in potentially doing some collaborations with people. I know that can really help to grow your channel. I mean, obviously I wouldn't do that for that only reason. That's like, going to, like a synagogue just for the oneg, the like the lunch or the dinner or the like snacks or whatever after the services, instead of because you want to like a religious experience, or just going to a birthday party because you like the cake and the ice cream instead of you actually care about the person or whatever. You just want to get praised because you gave them the best present. But I really do think that's a great way to like collaborate, not collaborate, like you just network and make more friends with people, and just to help to get yourself out there. As I've mentioned previously, I would love to host a readathon for Jewish American Heritage Month in May, but unfortunately I just don't have enough clout and visibility on BookTube, so I'm not going to humiliate myself and waste time and like embarrass myself and by hosting a readathon when like nobody knows about it, or only maybe like 3, 4 people are participating. Like, why would I even bother? But if I ever do get enough, clout and people like finally know who I am on BookTube, I would absolutely, love to host it. I have so many fun ideas for like prompts and like group reads and such like that. For example, like particularly like Yiddish literature and translation. Like so many people don't know the names of like any Yiddish writers at all, or if they do, they only know like the big three or whatever, like, like Isaac Bashevis, singer and like stuff like that, or Sholem Aleichem, who's, I would consider him one of my like top 10 favorite writers, somewhere in the bottom half of my top 10 list. But I really, really, again, that's going back to like, helping to educate people, because so many people, they just like don't know about like Jewish literature or like the Jewish American experience or our genuine like history or theology at all. They're just like seeing it through like a very like Christian or like non-religious lens, or like sometimes a very, very secular assimilated Jewish lens. And I just want to do my part in helping to educate people. And I have decided I would really, really love to get my master's degree in Jewish studies when I make Aliyah, move to Israel. I feel that would make more like, more easily marketable, and I could work in more places than just getting a master's degree in Holocaust studies like I was originally planning. Like, I could work in more museums and libraries and archives with a more like, general focus on like Jewish history and theology and stuff like that. I'm also trying to work on speaking more slowly when I'm in front of the camera. I realize when I listen to the playback, I'm speaking so fast, and I'm not even like doing that on purpose or consciously aware of it. It's just, I guess it must be a nervous tick and not quite confident, like 100% confident yet, like speaking by myself and like being in front of the camera. So my voice just like amps up. At least it's not as nearly as fast as a carnival barker, I don't think, but it's just like way faster than I actually speak in real life when there's no camera on me. And when I start becoming consciously aware of it as it's happening, I am able to slow my speed of the voice down, and hopefully I will continue working on that even more in future. Thank you very much for listening. As always, I'm open to like genuine, respectful suggestions for how I can like improve my channel. And just, I love having conversations with you guys. I really, really like seeing comments. A comment means so much more to me than a like, and I really do appreciate those few of you guys who have like, regularly commented on my channel over the last year and a half plus now. And again, as I mentioned, I'm doing like more frequent uploads these days, so I will see you again very, very soon. Thanks you for watching again. Bye.